There is a creature on Earth whose mind is so foreign, so radically different from ours, that neuroscientists often describe it as the closest thing we have to an alien. It does not think the way we think. It does not see the world the way we see it. In fact, it may not even experience reality as a single unified consciousness. Its body carries 9 independent brains. Its skin can taste light. Its arms can decide things on their own, without waiting for instructions. And its nervous system is spread so widely that calling it a brain almost feels inadequate. It is more like a distributed intelligence woven through flesh and water. This creature remembers through its skin, learns through its arms, and can rewrite its body in seconds, shifting color, shape, and texture with a level of control no other animal on Earth has ever come close to mastering. You know its name, but you have never truly met its mind. Tonight, you will step into the consciousness of the octopus, into an alien intelligence that evolved under the ocean, and not in the light of our world. In the dim blue stillness of the ocean, where sunlight dissolves into shadows and the world becomes a drifting tapestry of currents, there exists a kind of intelligence unlike anything that walks on land. It does not sit behind a skull. It is not confined to a single chamber of thought. Instead, it spreads itself across 8 wandering limbs, through thousands of sensitive receptors, through a nervous system so unusual that biologists struggle to describe it without using the language of science fiction. An octopus does not think in one place. Its consciousness is not centralized, not singular, not linear the way ours is. Nearly 2/3 of its neurons live inside its arms, neurons that can explore, taste, manipulate, and even decide without consulting the central brain. These arms operate like semi-independent minds, processing information in real time as they move through the water. Each one is an explorer, each one a scientist, each one a fragment of a larger intelligence that flows like a current across the entire body. Deep within the mantle, the core brain orchestrates pattern, memory, and strategy. Yet even this central organ does not resemble ours. It is shaped like a donut, wrapped around the esophagus and wired for flexibility rather than hierarchy. Instead of demanding control, it negotiates with the body, sending gentle rhythms that the arms interpret and refine. The octopus is not a creature with a brain. It is a creature that is a brain. Its skin is alive with color-changing cells, chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, each one receiving signals not just from the brain, but from the light itself. The octopus sees with its eyes, but also with its skin. It feels brightness, pattern, contrast. And with a thought, sometimes not even a thought, its entire body shifts. Shimmering gold, stone grey, deep ink black. It becomes whatever the moment requires, predator or prey, shadow or coral, shapeshifter, in a world where survival belongs to those who can transform faster than danger arrives. Floating through this environment, the octopus experiences reality not as a single viewpoint, but as a constellation of simultaneous sensations. Each arm reports its own world. Each touch, each current, each vibration feeds into a distributed network of memory and instinct. Its intelligence is not our intelligence. It is fluid, adaptive, almost dreamlike. As you drift deeper into this journey, imagine your own awareness softening, spreading outward the way an octopus spreads its mind across its arms. Thoughts become gentle, edges blur. The boundary between self and environment dissolves, just as the octopus dissolves into the textures of the ocean floor. This is the beginning of understanding an alien mind, not because it comes from another planet, but because it evolved in another world, under pressures and possibilities that shaped its consciousness into something beautifully, profoundly different from our own. In most animals, the brain dominates. It commands, it instructs, it processes information and pushes decisions outward into the limbs. But in the octopus, this hierarchy is dissolved. Its nervous system behaves less like a centralized government and more like a federation, a distributed network where each arm, each cluster of neurons, each patch of skin participates in thought. Inside every arm lies a dense neural hub called a brachial ganglion, a miniature brain capable of independent problem solving. These ganglia do not merely relay messages, they interpret them. They filter, adapt, and make choices in real time. An octopus arm can navigate complex mazes, identify textures, manipulate tools, and coordinate movements without waiting for instruction from the central brain. It is as if each limb carries its own version of awareness, local, immediate, intuitive. And yet, these arms are not rogue minds. They remain connected through an intricate network of axial nerves running along the core of the body, communicating through waves of electrical signals that feel almost like the ocean itself, fluid, rhythmic, continuous. The central brain sends broad goals. The arms negotiate the details. It is not a system of control, but of collaboration. Touch, for the octopus, is not just sensation, it is perception. Each arm is lined with suckers that function like microscopic laboratories. They can taste chemicals in the water, decode textures, measure pressure, and detect the faintest vibrations. A single arm may hold thousands of such sensors, each one feeding into local neural circuits that refine meaning before passing it on. In this way, the octopus does not simply touch its environment, it interprets it. And because this sensory network is so widely distributed, the octopus experiences its world not from a single point of view, but from 8 independent channels running simultaneously. Imagine trying to think with 9 different streams of information guiding your attention. Light on your skin, currents against your arms, chemical signatures drifting through water, textures interpreted by suction cups that can taste. For the octopus, this is not overwhelming, this is normal. The result is an intelligence uniquely suited to fluidity, an animal built not for rigid structure, but for improvisation, not for habits, but for constant reinvention. Its body is boneless, soft, adaptable. Its mind mirrors the same qualities, shifting, branching, exploring without fixed pathways. In the stillness of the ocean's deeper reaches, you might imagine the octopus resting, its arms draped lightly over sand or coral. But beneath that quiet posture, 1,000 micro-decisions ripple through its limbs, tiny negotiations of sensation and intention that maintain its awareness even in sleep-like states. And as you let this settle in your thoughts, you may feel your own awareness expanding outward, becoming less rigid, more fluid, mirroring the way an octopus disperses its consciousness across its body. A reminder that intelligence does not always need to be centralized to be profound. The octopus challenges one of our deepest assumptions about intelligence, that memory and learning must be stored inside a single, central brain. For this creature, cognition is not confined, it radiates outward through the body, woven into the arms, the skin, the nerves, and the fluid motion of muscles adapting moment by moment to the world around them. experiments reveal something astonishing. If an octopus arm is presented with a puzzle, a new texture, or a source of food, it can learn the pattern locally. Neurons within the limb adapt their responses, strengthening pathways that proved useful and reducing those that did not. This means the arm itself forms memories that do not need to be uploaded to the central brain for the creature to benefit from them. In this way, the octopus becomes a living network of distributed intelligence, each arm not just an appendage, but a learning machine. When it navigates a rocky surface, the arm adjusts to every crevice and contour. When it explores a shell or a hidden crevice, the arm samples chemical signatures, cross-referencing taste and touch with past experience, all without waiting for a distant command center. The central brain, meanwhile, operates more like a conductor than a dictator. It synthesizes broad patterns, where danger might lie, which direction the body should move, what strategy best fits the immediate moment. But the limbs handle nuance. They make countless micro-adjustments. They anticipate movement and tension. They solve problems on a scale too detailed and too rapid for a single brain to manage. Even the skin participates in cognition. Embedded with networks of chromatophores, it reacts instantly to changes in light, contrast, and motion. These pigment cells expand or contract in patterns that mimic the environment, allowing the octopus to blend seamlessly into coral, sand, or shadow. What appears as camouflage is actually light-sensitive computation, a dance of micro-decisions performed beneath conscious awareness. This distributed intelligence gives the octopus something close to shape-fluid awareness. Instead of thinking about the body, the octopus is its body. Every arm is a sensory extension, every sucker an analytic node, every patch of skin a light-sensitive canvas that interprets and responds. It is an organism that remembers with its limbs, reasons with its skin, and adapts with a flexibility that transcends anything in the vertebrate world. And as you sink into this understanding, your mind may soften slightly, widening, loosening, imagining what it would feel like to experience the world not as a single viewpoint, but as a constellation of independent sensations, a form of consciousness that is spacious, fluid, distributed, and deeply attuned to the environment. The octopus teaches us that intelligence can arise from many architectures, and that a mind does not need to resemble ours to be extraordinary. The octopus possesses one of the most extraordinary biological abilities in the natural world, the power to reshape its entire body with perfect fluidity. Because it has no bones and no rigid structure, its form is endlessly adaptable. It can elongate like a ribbon, compress itself into a smooth pebble, flatten into a drifting shadow, or fold and twist through openings no larger than its own eye. This is more than agility. It is a kind of physical intelligence. Every muscle fiber works in elegant coordination with sensory feedback coming from the skin and arms, turning the entire body into a living, flexible instrument that constantly interprets and responds to its surroundings. Even more remarkable is the octopus's skin, a sophisticated display system woven with chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, each capable of shifting color, brightness, reflectivity, and texture. These pigment cells respond to neural signals with astonishing speed, allowing the octopus to generate complex patterns in fractions of a second. This is not guesswork or random instinct. The skin itself contains light-sensitive receptors that detect changes in brightness and contrast, meaning the octopus doesn't just see with its eyes, it also sees with its skin. Environmental information flows directly into pigment cells through local neural circuits, enabling the octopus to change color almost before the central brain has even processed what is happening. When the octopus chooses to disappear, its transformation is nearly miraculous. One moment it is a soft, moving creature. The next, it becomes coral mottled, uneven, textured, blending seamlessly into the reef. A shift later, it resembles a smooth stone resting on sand, its skin flattening into matte grays and subtle shadows. And if danger escalates, it can erupt into pulsing bands of high-contrast stripes, stunning predators with a sudden visual shockwave. Every transformation is a decision made through distributed awareness, where the body analyzes light, interprets texture, and executes change with perfect unity. To watch an octopus camouflage itself is to witness cognition expressed through flesh, pigment, and instinct. Its color changes are not merely reactions, they are a form of environmental reasoning. Its body becomes a canvas for real-time computation, producing patterns tailored to each moment with a fluidity no vertebrate can imitate. In the silent world beneath the waves, this ability becomes more than survival. It becomes its own language. A language of shifting shapes, living textures, and instantaneous adaptation, revealing an intelligence shaped not by the demands of land, but by the endless possibilities of water. Though the octopus has no voice, no vocal cords, and no social hierarchy, it possesses one of the most subtle and multifaceted communication systems in the animal kingdom, a language that lives not in sound, but in movement, color, texture, and touch. Each of its 8 arms carries a vocabulary of motion, slow explorations, cautious curls, sudden extensions, spiraling gestures that express curiosity, wariness, or intent. Because each arm contains its own network of neurons, these movements emerge with fluid precision, like independent limbs speaking their own dialects of a shared language. Its skin contributes another layer to this communication. Chromatophores shift in gentle waves, rippling messages across the body in patterns of brightness and shadow. A calm octopus may soften into muted tones that blend with the sea floor. A curious one may display faint mottling that pulses near the arms. An agitated octopus can flare into sharp, contrasting colors that act as a clear warning. Texture, too, becomes part of this language. The creature can raise papillae, small, muscular projections, turning smooth skin into rough coral or jagged stone. These changes are not digressions, they are expressions. In the absence of sound, the entire body becomes a canvas for emotion and intent. When interacting with the world or with other creatures, touch becomes the most direct form of communication. Each sucker is lined with thousands of chemoreceptors capable of tasting and sensing microscopically fine details. Through touch, the octopus learns, remembers, and interprets. When its arms glide across a surface or a shell, it is receiving a stream of information that helps it decide how to behave. 2 octopuses meeting underwater may exchange complex gestures, a shift of color, a curl of an arm, a soft plume of ink to negotiate territory or express readiness for interaction. Despite being largely solitary animals, octopuses demonstrate problem-solving behavior that suggests a form of internal communication, a dialogue between arms and central brain that creates unified action from distributed intent. When exploring a hidden space, the arms search independently, while the brain monitors the broader environment. When hunting, the arms coordinate like a fluid net, each part anticipating the movements of the others. This silent unity forms a kind of choreography that replaces the verbal communication found in social animals. It is not conversation, but coherence, an elegant negotiation of purpose across 9 interconnected neural centers. Watching an octopus move is like observing a thought unfold through motion. Every gesture holds intention. Every shift of color carries meaning. Every ripple of texture reveals awareness. It is a form of expression that bypasses language entirely, revealing a mind that communicates through fluidity, sensation, and form. And in the quiet world beneath the waves, this wordless language becomes a powerful tool, allowing the octopus to navigate danger, explore complexity, and express the subtleties of an intelligence that evolved far from our own. Although an octopus's consciousness is distributed throughout its body, its capacity for learning and problem-solving is astonishingly unified. At the center of this intelligence lies an intricate brain structure called the vertical lobe system, a complex network of neurons specialized for learning, pattern recognition, and memory. Unlike most invertebrates, the octopus demonstrates cognitive abilities comparable in some ways to mammals and birds, solving puzzles, remembering solutions, and adapting its behavior with a level of flexibility that feels almost eerily familiar. In laboratory settings, octopuses quickly learn to open jars by twisting lids in the correct direction. They navigate mazes with remarkable efficiency, recalling routes long after they've been removed from the environment. They recognize individual humans, not just by sight, but by subtle cues in movement and behavior, and can distinguish between researchers who treat them gently and those who do not. These feats suggest a nervous system capable of storing long-term memories, forming associations, and updating those associations as new information appears. What makes octopus learning so extraordinary is that it does not operate like a single, centralized thought process. Instead, much of the learning happens in parallel across the arms. Each arm gathers sensory information, tests hypotheses, and adapts micro-behaviors. Meanwhile, the central brain integrates broader patterns, where food is hidden, which objects are safe, which threats require avoidance. This dual system local learning combined with global strategy creates a kind of multi-layered intelligence unmatched in the animal kingdom. In the wild, this cognition manifests in creative problem-solving. Octopuses have been seen collecting discarded coconut shells and assembling them into portable shelters, demonstrating foresight and tool use. They block the entrances of their dens with rocks arranged in deliberate patterns, suggesting spatial awareness and strategic planning. Some species ambush prey by coordinating arm positions around hidden openings, acting with split-second timing that requires both memory and prediction. Curiosity fuels much of this behavior. When an octopus encounters something new, a shiny object, a drifting shell, a strange piece of equipment, it rarely retreats. Instead, its arms reach out, tasting and sampling every surface. This tactile investigation is both cautious and bold, guided by thousands of sensors interpreting pressure, chemistry, and texture. The octopus does not rely on sight alone. Its understanding of the world is deeply tactile, almost intimate. Touch is not just perception, it is exploration, analysis, and learning fused into a single act. This curiosity is complemented by an ability to evaluate risk, An octopus that learns a jar contains food will approach it again without hesitation. But an object that delivered a mild electric shock or other harmful stimulus triggers avoidance that lasts for weeks, sometimes longer. These behavioral changes reveal not just memory, but emotional learning, an awareness of consequence that shapes future decisions. At the core of all this lies a fundamental truth. The octopus mind is not alien because it is simple. It is alien because it is complex in a different way, a fusion of centralized reasoning and peripheral autonomy, a blend of instinct and distributed calculation. It teaches us that cognition does not need bones, a rigid body, or a single point of view. Intelligence can be fluid, tactile, decentralized, and still astonishingly deep. As you let this understanding settle within you, you may feel your own thoughts soften, expanding outward the way the octopus spreads its awareness through its arms. A reminder that intelligence can take many shapes and that curiosity in any form is one of the universe's most remarkable expressions. Beneath its fluid movements and extraordinary neural architecture, the octopus carries something even more enigmatic, a form of inner experience that scientists are only beginning to understand. Though it evolved entirely separately from vertebrates, its behaviors hint at a depth of awareness, perhaps even emotion, that challenges the limits of what we imagine an invertebrate can feel. And yet, its consciousness does not resemble ours. It is not centered, not singular, not neatly defined. It spreads, shifts, and reforms just as its body does, creating a mind as fluid as the water it inhabits. Research shows that octopuses respond differently to stress, comfort, novelty, and isolation. When threatened, their bodies pulse with intense, sharp-edged color. When calm, they soften into gentle tones. Some individuals, even in controlled settings, show stable personality traits. Bold explorers who push boundaries, cautious observers who hang back, curious tinkerers who manipulate everything they touch. These patterns persist over time, suggesting that octopuses possess internal states, moods, preferences, and perhaps even primitive forms of emotion. The sense of self in an octopus is complex. Because its nervous system is distributed, the creature experiences its own body not as a single shape, but as a constellation of sensations happening simultaneously. Each arm provides a stream of independent signals, feedback loops of touch, chemical detection, and proprioception that the central brain synthesizes into a kind of shifting self-awareness. The octopus does not conceptualize its body the way humans do. Instead, it feels its boundaries moment to moment, redefining its shape and posture as fluidly as currents move through water. This flexible sense of self may contribute to the octopus's remarkable problem-solving abilities. Without a rigid body plan, the creature must constantly update its internal map of where each arm is, what it is touching, and how it is interacting with the environment. This real-time self-modeling creates a form of situational intelligence awareness, born not from memory alone, but from continuous sensory integration. The octopus is never fixed. It is always adapting, always recalculating, always becoming. Socially, octopuses live solitary lives, but this solitude does not imply emptiness. Their interactions with the world are rich and nuanced. They react differently to familiar humans versus strangers, sometimes greeting preferred caregivers with gentle touches and avoiding those they distrust. They play with objects, manipulate shells, explore tools, and even show signs of curiosity that resemble cognitive enrichment behaviors seen in mammals and birds. Their emotional range appears understated but present. Signs of stress can be observed when their arms recoil sharply or their colors flick into chaotic patterns. Calmness emerges through smooth, slow movements and muted hues. A form of pleasure, or at least positive stimulation, can be inferred when they repeatedly engage with satisfying textures or objects. While we cannot map their emotions directly onto our own, their behaviors reveal an internal world where preference, aversion, motivation, and learning intertwine. It is tempting to view such intelligence through the lens of human experience. But the octopus invites us into something else entirely, a mind that is distributed rather than centralized, sensory-rich rather than symbolic, embodied rather than conceptual. Its awareness arises not from abstract thought, but from direct interaction with the world, filtered through an architecture that blends independence with unity. As you drift deeper into this understanding, imagine your thoughts softening into shapes rather than words, into sensations rather than concepts, an awareness that spreads outward through every part of your body. The octopus lives this way naturally. Its consciousness is a living map of movement, texture, and light, constantly refreshed by the sensations flowing through its 8 intelligent limbs. And in that fluid, shifting awareness lies the true essence of the octopus. Not alien because it is strange, but alien because it reveals how many different ways a mind can exist. For all its extraordinary abilities, for its 9-brain architecture, its distributed awareness, its camouflage mastery, its curiosity, its emotional depth, the octopus lives a life astonishingly brief. Most species survive only 1 or 2 years. Even the largest, most intelligent octopuses seldom live beyond 3 or 4. And within that short span, they experience the ocean with an intensity and adaptability that few creatures on Earth can match. Their intelligence is not stretched across decades. It is compressed into a short, brilliant flare of life. This brevity is rooted in biology. Octopuses evolved with a reproductive strategy that focuses its energy toward a single, final act. After mating, both males and females begin a biological decline known as senescence, a rapid, programmed unraveling of their bodies and behaviors. For females, this process begins the moment they lay their eggs. She stops hunting, stops wandering, and dedicates every moment to protecting and cleaning her clutch. She guards them for weeks, sometimes months, never eating, surviving only on the reserves stored in her body. Her instincts override everything else, collapsing her once fluid intelligence into one final purpose: ensuring the next generation survives. Males, too, decline after mating. Their bodies weaken, their coordination falters, their curiosity fades. The complex intelligence that defined their lives begins to flicker irregularly, as if multiple parts of the distributed nervous system no longer communicate with one another. Over time, their graceful movements become erratic. Their color patterns shift unpredictably. It is a slow, sad disintegration, an ending designed by evolution, not by injury or age. This ephemeral lifespan raises a profound question. Why would an animal so smart, so adaptable, so neurologically advanced, live such a short life? Biologists believe the answer lies in evolutionary trade-offs. Octopuses evolved high intelligence to survive as solitary, soft-bodied creatures without shells or armor. but intelligence is energetically expensive. Their nervous system consumes immense energy, more relative to body size than many mammals. Instead of evolving long, slow life histories like primates or elephants, octopuses evolved a rapid, high-effort existence. Grow quickly, learn intensely, reproduce once, and pass on their genes to the next generation. And yet, within this compressed timeline, an octopus engages with the world in ways that feel remarkably vivid. It learns constantly, it experiments, it plays, it solves problems that many longer-lived animals struggle with. It interacts with its environment through a sensory tapestry so rich and nuanced that its short life feels less like a limitation and more like a blaze of concentrated experience. Their intelligence is not weighted by years, but by density, by the intensity of perception, by the responsiveness of a body that thinks, by the fluid adaptability of a mind shaped by the ocean. Imagine a life where every moment is felt deeply, where every touch is meaningful, where every color shift is a decision, where every movement is a negotiation between 9 interconnected minds. To live as an octopus is to perceive continuously, to adapt relentlessly, to experience the world through a consciousness unbound by the constraints we associate with intelligence. Even as their lives end, octopuses leave behind a legacy of curiosity encoded in behavior, not memory, each generation beginning anew, yet inheriting the evolutionary wisdom accumulated over millions of years. A wisdom written not in teachings or culture, but in neural architectures refined by the survival needs of an oceanic world. And as you let this image settle into your awareness, you may feel a quiet respect rise within you for a creature whose life is brief but brilliant, whose mind is alien yet deeply expressive, and whose existence reveals that the length of life matters far less than the depth of experience. The octopus carries a body so soft and boneless that it looks fragile at first sight, yet this very softness conceals a remarkable strength. Its muscles are arranged in intricate 3-dimensional layers that function as a biological masterpiece called a muscular hydrostat, a system that allows the creature to twist, bend, stretch, compress, and flow in any direction without the limitations of joints or bones. This structure gives the octopus an astonishing range of motion, enabling it to slip through openings the width of a coin or expand its body into wide, confident shapes that dominate the seafloor. Each arm acts like a powerful living rope capable of curling into tight spirals or extending into graceful lengths with perfect control. These limbs are strong enough to lift many times the octopus's own weight, allowing it to pry open shells, anchor itself against strong currents, or manipulate objects with an agility that rivals human hands. The same arm that crushes prey can also perform the most delicate of tasks, exploring the world with thousands of touch and taste-sensitive suckers that glide across surfaces like a curious network of fingertips. All of this strength and precision is coordinated by distributed intelligence. The arms possess their own neural circuits that can calculate tension, direction, and resistance instantly, adjusting every motion with a fluid intelligence that responds directly to the environment. The central brain sets the goal: escape, explore, hunt, but the arms execute the strategy, making countless micro-decisions that blend intention with instinct. This cooperation between center and limbs creates movements that are both purposeful and improvisational, like a dance choreographed in real time by 9 interconnected minds. The octopus's mastery of motion extends beyond its arms to its entire body. When it crawls across the ocean floor, its limbs move in rolling waves, each sucker gripping the terrain with intuitive precision. When it jets backward to escape danger, water streams through its siphon in a controlled burst, sending the body gliding through the water with quiet elegance. Even simple repositioning becomes an act of fluid intelligence. Its body negotiates pressure, current, and texture with an awareness that feels both instinctive and deeply calculated. The result is an organism that does not simply move through its environment, but merges with it. Every bend of the arm, every contraction of muscle, every shift in posture is a reflection of sensory information flowing through thousands of receptors. The octopus does not experience movement as a series of mechanical steps. It experiences it as a continuous dialogue with the world around it. Its body thinks, its body reacts, its body solves. And through this, it achieves a level of physical freedom unmatched by any vertebrate. To watch an octopus in motion is to witness a being liberated from structure, a creature that flows like water, adapts like shadow, and expresses intelligence through movement as naturally as breathing. In its fluidity lies a profound kind of power, the power to become anything the moment requires, and to navigate a complex world not through rigidity, but through grace. The octopus's eyes are among the most sophisticated visual systems on the planet, evolved not from the same lineage as vertebrate eyes, but through an entirely separate path, an extraordinary example of convergent evolution. Their pupils form striking horizontal slits that can rotate as the body moves, allowing the octopus to maintain a stable view even as its shape shifts and flows. Beneath this unusual pupil lies a retina rich with photoreceptors that detect contrast and polarization with unparalleled sensitivity. The octopus cannot see color the way we do, yet it perceives the world with a clarity and dimensionality that feels almost alien, processing subtle changes in light that slip past the human eye entirely. Its vision is tuned not for the bright, open world above the surface, but for the complex textures of the ocean's dim environments. It can identify patterns with remarkable speed, distinguish shapes in low light, and detect the faint polarization signatures reflected off different types of prey. These capabilities allow the octopus to interpret its surroundings with razor-sharp precision, turning even the simplest rock formation or drifting shadow into a rich tapestry of information. This sensitivity to contrast and polarization also informs its camouflage. Its skin responds to these visual cues instantly, mirroring the environment with uncanny accuracy. Even more extraordinary is how the octopus integrates vision with its distributed intelligence. While vertebrates rely heavily on central processing in the brain, the octopus combines visual input with tactile and chemical feedback from its arms, merging these sensory streams into a single, fluid perception of the world. Its eyes gather the broad patterns: movement, danger, opportunity, while the arms fine-tune the details through touch and taste. The result is a multi-layered awareness that resembles a network rather than a hierarchy, where every part of the body contributes to understanding. The structure of the octopus eye also reflects its unique evolutionary pressures. Unlike human eyes, which correct for imperfections with lenses and neural processing, the octopus evolved a retina without a blind spot, a remarkable advantage created by wiring photoreceptor cells directly outward rather than burying them beneath layers of neurons. This design allows the octopus to see with seamless continuity, capturing a wide, uninterrupted field of vision, essential for a creature that must navigate danger from every direction. And while the octopus does not interpret the world through color, its perception of polarized light grants it a kind of vision humans cannot imagine, seeing the orientation of light waves, detecting reflections invisible to other animals, and interpreting subtle cues from the shimmer of fish scales or the ripple of water. This gives the octopus a unique advantage in hunting, avoiding predators, and navigating complex environments where survival often depends on perceiving the invisible. When you look into an octopus's eyes, you do not see emptiness, you see intention. Their gaze is steady, curious, calculating. It is not the expression of an instinct-driven creature, but of a mind quietly analyzing, comparing, and predicting. In those eyes lies a glimpse of a consciousness evolved in a world of currents and shadows, shaped not by air and sunlight, but by the fluid darkness beneath the sea. And as you imagine this gaze meeting yours, you may sense a profound realization rising within you, that intelligence is not defined by similarity to human thought, but by the elegance with which a creature interprets its world. The octopus sees differently, not less, not more, but differently, and within that difference lies the beauty of an alien mind. The octopus lives in a world filled with predators, sharks, eels, fish, and other hunters that rely on speed or brute strength. Yet the octopus does not rely on armor or aggression to survive. Instead, it has evolved a repertoire of chemical defenses so refined that they feel almost like tools crafted by an alchemist. When threatened, the octopus can release a cloud of ink composed of melanin, enzymes, and mucus, creating a thick, dark veil that blinds predators and masks the octopus's scent. This ink is not merely a smokescreen. It is a biochemical illusion designed to overload a predator's senses, forcing confusion at the very moment the octopus vanishes into shadow. Sometimes the ink forms a decoy, a phantom shape drifting in the water, tricking the attacker into striking the wrong target, while the real octopus escapes in silence. Beyond ink, many octopus species possess venom delivered through their beak, a sharp, parrot-like structure capable of piercing shells with effortless precision. This venom varies among species but often contains neurotoxins powerful enough to paralyze prey in seconds. The famous blue-ringed octopus carries one of the most potent toxins in the animal kingdom, a chemical so effective that it can shut down nerves and muscles with terrifying speed. Yet even species without lethal venom use their chemical arsenal, strategically subduing crabs, fish, and mollusks with a cocktail tailored to immobilize without struggle. These chemical tools reflect an evolutionary strategy rooted in subtlety. The octopus is a master of avoidance, preferring stealth, misdirection, and intelligence over confrontation. Its defenses are designed not to dominate, but to disappear, an approach perfectly aligned with a body built for fluidity and escape. Ink clouds create distance, venom creates stillness, camouflage creates invisibility. Together, they form a survival system that relies on precision rather than force. Escape, for the octopus, is as much a psychological tactic as a physical one. Many predators rely on predictable patterns of movement, but the octopus disrupts these patterns with sudden, unpredictable bursts of speed. By jetting backward through its siphon, it can propel itself with explosive energy, changing direction in an instant. Combined with its shape-shifting body and rapid color changes, this movement becomes a disappearing act, one moment visible, the next moment absorbed into the seafloor. Even its beak, small and hidden at the center of its arms, represents an evolutionary triumph. Capable of biting through the hardest shells, the beak allows the octopus to access prey that other predators cannot, giving it a unique niche in the ecosystem. When combined with venom, it becomes a surgical instrument, a precise, efficient tool that neutralizes prey without unnecessary struggle. These layered defenses reveal a creature built for survival not through domination, but through mastery of environment, chemistry, and illusion. Every tool the octopus uses reflects its deeper nature, a mind that avoids conflict, a body that adapts, and a nervous system that solves problems with elegance rather than brute strength. As you imagine an octopus drifting through its underwater world, you may feel the quiet intelligence in every movement. It does not conquer, it outthinks. It does not fight, it disappears. It does not rely on strength, it relies on the chemistry of subtlety and the art of escape. And within that strategy lies a profound kind of wisdom, that survival can come not from resisting the world, but from flowing around it. The octopus's mind is not housed within a single organ, nor is it confined to linear thought. Instead, it exists as a living architecture fluid, shifting and constantly reassembling itself in response to the world. Nearly 2/3 of its neurons reside in its arms, creating an intelligence that flows through the body rather than radiating outward from a central point. This distributed network allows the octopus to think with its limbs, analyze with its skin, and respond with a unity that feels more like a coordinated intuition than a sequence of decisions. The central brain, nestled within the mantle, serves as a hub of higher-order processing. It stores long-term memory, recognizes patterns, and plans strategies. But the arms operate semi-independently, performing complex computations without waiting for central approval. When exploring a coral crevice or manipulating an unfamiliar object, each arm becomes a curious investigator, tasting, touching, and sampling sensory cues through thousands of receptors. These inputs feed local neural circuits that learn and adapt on the spot, forming micro-memories that guide behavior even before the central brain becomes aware. This dual system, central planning and peripheral autonomy, creates a mind that behaves like a constantly shifting constellation of awareness. When hunting, the arms coordinate like a fluid net, predicting movements and adjusting their positions with near-instant synchronization. When hiding, the skin interprets light and texture, triggering camouflage adjustments that unfold faster than conscious thought. When navigating tight spaces, each limb independently models the environment, calculating angles and resistance based on tactile feedback. The octopus does not merely act within its world, it maps it in real time. The flexibility of this mind reflects the environment in which it evolved. In the ocean's unpredictable landscapes, with shifting currents, moving shadows, and complex terrain, survival favors a nervous system that can adapt instantly. The octopus cannot afford the delays of centralized processing. It must decide through distributed awareness. This approach allows it to improvise solutions that are elegant, efficient, and sometimes startlingly creative. It unveils a form of intelligence that does not rely on hierarchy, but on cooperation between 9 distinct neural centers. As scientists study this unusual architecture, they discover patterns that challenge traditional assumptions about consciousness. What does it mean for a creature to know something when knowledge exists simultaneously in different parts of the body? How does memory function when it is stored both locally and centrally? What does self-awareness look like when the boundaries of the body are constantly shifting, dissolving, and reforming? These questions reveal that the octopus is not just an animal of the ocean, it is a window into alternative forms of cognition. To imagine thinking like an octopus is to imagine an awareness that moves like water, expanding, dividing, reconnecting, blending sensory information from every direction without ever needing to pause. It is consciousness as motion, cognition as fluidity, intelligence as an ever-unfolding dance of nerve and muscle. And as you let this idea settle within you, you may feel your own awareness become a little softer, a little more spacious, as if the edges of thought could loosen and flow. Just like the octopus, navigating its world with a mind that lives everywhere at once. The octopus's intelligence did not arise in a vacuum. It was sculpted by the rhythms, pressures, and challenges of the ocean itself. Beneath the surface, light dissolves into gradients of blue, predators move silently through shifting shadows, and the terrain morphs from soft sand to jagged rock within a few meters. In this unpredictable, fluid environment, survival requires more than instinct. It requires awareness that can adapt instantly, perception that can interpret subtle cues, and a body capable of responding faster than thought. The octopus became a creature shaped by the sea and, in turn, shaped its mind around its ever-changing world. Every current that brushes against its skin provides information, direction, speed, temperature, and even the chemical signatures of distant prey. The octopus does not simply feel the ocean, it reads it, interpreting its complex patterns like a silent language. Its arms extend into the water like antennae, sampling the environment through thousands of receptors that capture microscopic details, from the texture of coral to the faint chemical trails of crabs hiding beneath rocks. These sensations flow into local neural circuits that interpret the landscape moment by moment, creating a living mental map that updates as constantly as the ocean itself. Camouflage is another form of environmental intelligence. The octopus's surroundings dictate the language of its skin. Smooth sand calls for muted tones, coral reefs demand mottled textures, and open waters require rapid shifts in brightness to match drifting shadows. These transformations are not decorative, they are survival encoded in pattern. The skin interprets the light that touches it, sending signals that ripple through pigment cells, adjusting color and texture with near-instant accuracy. In this way, the environment becomes a partner in cognition, providing the cues the octopus uses to disappear or reveal itself. Temperature, too, shapes behavior. In colder waters, the octopus moves with slow, deliberate elegance, conserving energy while maintaining awareness of predators. In warmer regions, movements are faster, more exploratory, and more opportunistic. Even the density of the water influences its strategies. Dense, cool regions permit stable jetting movements, while lighter, warmer currents require more careful propulsion. The octopus's instincts are finely tuned to these subtle changes, reflecting a nervous system evolved to harmonize with the physics of water. The physical landscape also molds its intelligence. Rocky terrains filled with crevices encourage problem-solving and spatial memory. Sandy flats demand caution and stealth. kelp forests require agile maneuvering through tight spaces. Octopuses living near reefs tend to display more exploratory behavior, while species in open waters rely more heavily on camouflage and speed. This diversity of habitats has produced a range of cognitive styles across species, each one a different expression of the ocean's influence. What emerges from all of this is a profound truth. The octopus mind is not separate from the sea, it is an extension of it. The environment shapes its behavior, refines its senses, and informs its strategies. In every movement and decision, the octopus carries the imprint of the ocean's logic, responding not with rigid patterns, but with fluid adaptability. And as you imagine this creature drifting through the underwater world, feeling currents, reading textures, interpreting shadows, you may sense the serenity of a mind completely attuned to its surroundings. A mind that does not resist its environment but flows with it, learning from every ripple, every vibration, every flicker of light. This is the pulse of the ocean written into a nervous system. This is intelligence shaped by water. When night falls beneath the waves and the ocean softens into muted blues and drifting shadows, the octopus enters a state that reveals something deeply intriguing about its inner world. It sleeps, and not just with stillness, but with rhythms, patterns, and physiological changes that hint at a mind capable of dreamlike states. As its arms curl gently toward its body and its breathing steadies, the colors on its skin begin to shift, slow pulses that ripple across its mantle, followed by sudden flashes of brightness, followed again by muted calm. These transitions are not random. They occur in phases, suggesting a sleep structure far more complex than that of most invertebrates. During quiet sleep, the octopus becomes pale and motionless, its suckers relaxed, its body loose. But then, in a state analogous to REM sleep in mammals, its skin erupts into rapid color changes, shifting from dark to bright, from mottled patterns to smooth gradients, while its arms twitch with gentle, spontaneous movements. Scientists believe these bursts reflect neural activity similar to dream states, where memories, sensations, and learned experiences replay through the distributed nervous system. In this phase, the octopus may be rehearsing strategies, refining motor patterns, or consolidating information gathered during the day. The patterns that appear on its skin during this active sleep often resemble hunting displays, camouflage forms, or warning flashes, behaviors deeply tied to survival. This suggests that the octopus's dreams, if we dare call them that, might involve reenactments of experiences, a silent theater projected through color and movement. Its body becomes a canvas for internal activity, revealing a mind that does not stop thinking even in rest. The octopus's sleep cycles are surprisingly short, typically lasting only a few minutes, but they repeat with regularity, like waves breaking softly on a distant shore. What makes this even more extraordinary is the interplay between its arms and central brain during sleep. Because its nervous system is distributed, different regions may enter different states at slightly different times. Some arms twitch independently, as though exploring an imaginary landscape, while the central brain remains in a quieter phase. This fragmented but coordinated rest reflects the architecture of a mind that cannot simply shut off, one that must restore itself across multiple neural hubs, each with its own circuitry and rhythm. Sleep, for the octopus, is not merely rest, it is maintenance, of a complex system. It strengthens memory pathways, stabilizes learning, and refreshes sensory networks that work tirelessly throughout the day. A creature that solves puzzles, navigates mazes, and manipulates objects with such finesse must have an internal process for organizing that information, and sleep appears to be a key mechanism. This discovery has profound implications for our understanding of intelligence. Sleep is often associated with advanced brains capable of long-term planning, emotional processing, and complex learning. The fact that an octopus exhibits sleep stages reminiscent of dreaming suggests that its neural architecture, though alien in design, touches on cognitive depths we once believed belonged only to vertebrates. It hints at an inner life rich with sensory reflections, memories, and perhaps even primitive imagination. To picture an octopus sleeping is to imagine a mind turning inward, expressing its silent thoughts through flickering color and subtle motion. A creature that changes its skin to hide in daylight now changes it to reveal the echoes of its consciousness at night. In the gentle darkness of the sea, its skin becomes a living diary, recording the quiet conversations happening deep within its network of 9 minds. And as you envision this quiet scene, you may feel a sense of calm wash over you, an awareness that intelligence takes many forms, and that even in the ocean's darkest corners, minds are dreaming in ways we are only beginning to understand. One of the most astonishing aspects of octopus intelligence is its capacity for spontaneous creativity, a quality most often associated with animals that live long, social, culturally rich lives. And yet, the octopus, with its brief, solitary existence, demonstrates a natural inclination toward play and experimentation. In laboratory settings, octopuses have been seen dismantling equipment, redirecting water jets to annoy researchers, and manipulating objects not for food or survival, but purely for stimulation. In the wild, they explore their environment with a kind of tactile curiosity, treating shells, rocks, and even discarded human objects as puzzles waiting to be solved. This behavior is not aimless. It reflects a mind seeking engagement, testing possibilities, and refining its understanding of the world. When confronted with a problem, the octopus does not rely on repetition or fixed patterns. Instead, it experiments with multiple strategies, adjusting its approach through rapid sensory feedback from its arms. A shell too difficult to pry open might be drilled with the beak. A crab hiding beneath rock may be flushed out with a jet of water. A jar with a twist lid becomes a challenge solved through coordinated arm rotation. This flexible problem-solving reveals the octopus's extraordinary ability to adapt, improvise, and plan not through long-term memory alone, but through real-time negotiation between its 9 neural centers. Perhaps most fascinating is how the octopus uses its environment as an extension of its intelligence. Some species collect rocks or shells to barricade their dens, arranging them in patterns that suggest spatial reasoning. Others transform discarded objects like coconut shells into portable shelters, demonstrating foresight and tool use. These behaviors show that the octopus's mind does not end at the boundary of its skin. It extends outward into the world, shaping and reshaping its environment as seamlessly as it reshapes its own body. But beneath the brilliance of its problem-solving lies another dimension: emotion-like responses to challenge and success. Octopuses show signs of excitement when they solve puzzles quickly, moving with energetic bursts, their colors shifting in bright, confident patterns. When frustrated, they may retreat, darkening their skin or withdrawing their arms in tense, guarded postures. These reactions reflect an internal experience that goes beyond simple stimulus and response, suggesting a mind capable of preference, motivation, and even something resembling satisfaction. To witness an octopus solving a problem is to watch a mind in motion, a mind that does not rely on rigid structures, but on dynamic interplay between sensation, memory, and improvisation. It is a dance of cognition performed through arms, skin, and distributed neural pathways. And in this dance lies a powerful lesson. Intelligence is not defined by form. It is defined by the elegance with which a creature engages with the unexpected. Although the octopus lives a solitary life, its behaviors reveal a surprisingly rich emotional landscape, one shaped not by social bonds, but by the constant demand for vigilance and adaptation in a world filled with shifting threats. When an octopus is stressed, its entire body becomes an immediate reflection of that inner state. Colors flicker sharply across its skin, arms pull inward with tense precision, and its movements become fast, erratic, or tightly controlled. These responses are not random. They are physiological signals of an internal shift, evidence that the octopus experiences a form of emotion tied directly to survival. Stress in octopuses triggers changes in respiration, posture, and even the patterns expressed across the chromatophores of the skin. Just as our faces reveal tension or fear, an octopus displays emotional cues through its body language and color expression. A fearful octopus will pale suddenly, blending into its environment with desperate efficiency. An agitated one may flash bold, high-contrast stripes across its mantle. These visual responses happen in milliseconds, guided by neural circuits that tightly couple emotional state with physical expression. This connection between feeling and form is so direct that the octopus can be read like a shifting, living mood ring, revealing its internal state through color and movement. Yet the octopus also demonstrates the capacity to calm itself, to shift from tension to curiosity when the environment becomes safe once more. After a predator passes, its breathing slows, colors soften, and arms relax into gentle exploratory motions. This transition suggests regulatory behavior, an internal mechanism for returning to baseline, a form of emotional resilience embedded in its distributed neural system. The octopus does not remain locked in stress. It moves fluidly through emotional states, adapting moment by moment to its surroundings. What makes this especially fascinating is that octopuses respond differently to different individuals, both human and animal. An octopus handled gently and respectfully will approach the same person with curiosity, extending its arms in soft, investigative touches. But when confronted with someone who previously caused discomfort, it may recoil, change color, or even squirt water as a form of mild retaliation. These responses indicate recognition, memory, and emotionally influenced decision-making attributes once thought possible only in more cognitively complex vertebrates. Environmental stress also shapes their emotional lives. Captive octopuses placed in barren tanks show signs of boredom or agitation, pacing their arms along the surfaces, darkening their skin, or attempting escapes. When enriched with shells, rocks, textures, and puzzles, they become calmer, more engaged, and more curious. Their emotional well-being depends on stimulation and novelty, a clue that their intelligence is not a static trait, but a mental ecosystem that needs variety to thrive. Even in the wild, octopuses choose dens that feel secure, maintain them meticulously, and retreat to them when overwhelmed, behaviors that parallel emotional regulation strategies seen in mammals. They withdraw when overstimulated and re-emerge when ready to engage. This balance between exploration and retreat reflects a nervous system capable of evaluating risk, managing arousal, and acting according to internal states rather than pure instinct. In the depth of these behaviors lies a profound truth. The octopus feels its world intensely. Its emotions may not mirror ours, but they shape its decisions, its movements, its colors, and its survival. Through its shifting patterns and fluid motions, the octopus offers us a glimpse into a kind of emotional consciousness woven seamlessly into every layer of its being. Time touches the octopus differently than it touches almost any other intelligent creature. Where humans experience decades and elephants experience generations, the octopus experiences only a handful of years, yet within that narrow window, it lives with an intensity that condenses a lifetime of learning, adapting, and exploring into a short, brilliant arc. Its brief existence is not a limitation but a concentration, a dense burst of cognition shaped by the constant need to understand, respond, and evolve in an environment that never stops shifting. From the moment an octopus hatches, it is entirely alone. There is no parental guidance, no social structure to lean on, no inherited wisdom passed down through teaching. What it learns through direct interaction with the world. Every shell becomes a test, every rock a puzzle, every current a piece of information woven into memory. This immediate immersion demands rapid intelligence, forcing the octopus to mature cognitively in weeks rather than years. It must become a strategist almost immediately, capable of hunting, hiding, and navigating a world filled with predators far larger and more powerful. This compressed timeline shapes not only its learning but its worldview. The octopus does not experience slow, incremental growth. It experiences constant discovery. Its neural circuits form quickly, strengthen rapidly, and reorganize themselves constantly in response to new challenges. Memory pathways consolidate at a pace that mirrors the urgency of its life. Where long-lived animals can afford repetition, the octopus must rely on adaptability. It cannot wait to learn through trial and error over time. It must learn in the moment through acute observation and immediate integration of new information. Even the way the octopus explores reflects this relationship with time. Its curiosity is not idle. It is fast, tactile, and hungry. Arms move relentlessly, sampling, tasting, testing, absorbing vast amounts of sensory data that help refine its understanding of the environment. Every encounter has the potential to become a vital memory. The texture of a hiding place, the scent of prey, the shadow of a predator. The octopus does not waste these moments. It processes them quickly, weaving them into a mental framework that grows more sophisticated with every experience. Because its lifespan is short, the octopus also feels the biological urgency of reproduction more sharply than most animals. Mating marks the beginning of senescence, a programmed decline that overtakes the body and nervous system. Yet even this final stage is shaped by intention. A female tends her eggs with a dedication that borders on self-sacrifice, cleaning them, oxygenating them, protecting them with meticulous care. It is an act of devotion that transforms her final weeks into a period of singular focus, ensuring her offspring have the best chance to survive in a world she will never see them enter. This entire trajectory, rapid growth, intense learning, brilliant problem-solving, and devoted reproduction reflects an intelligence tuned to immediacy. The octopus does not live a slow life, but a concentrated one. It experiences the world with an immediacy that is almost poetic. Every moment matters, every decision counts, every sensory cue holds value. In this way, its short lifespan becomes not a tragedy, but a testament to the power of a mind that does not need decades to reach depth. As you picture the octopus navigating its world, flowing through coral tunnels, shifting shape beneath moonlit waters, solving problems with elegant precision, you may sense a quiet truth emerging: that the richness of a life is not measured by its length, but by the awareness brought to each moment. The octopus embodies this truth effortlessly, living not in long stretches of time, but in the intensity of presence. And within that presence lies a kind of beauty, a reminder that consciousness, in all its forms, finds meaning not in duration, but in experience. In the vast underwater world, where objects rarely remain stable and the landscape shifts with every passing current, the evolution of tool use is exceptionally rare. Yet the octopus, with no bones, no social learning, and barely any time to accumulate experience, has managed to cross this evolutionary threshold, demonstrating one of the most advanced forms of technology use found in any non-vertebrate species. For a creature that lives less than a handful of years, this achievement is nothing short of extraordinary. Some species of octopus collect coconut shells, carrying them across the seafloor to assemble portable shelters. Others gather rocks, arranging them carefully around the entrance of their dens like strategic barricades. These behaviors require foresight, spatial memory, and an ability to understand how objects can be repurposed in multiple contexts. A cognitive sophistication rarely seen outside primates, birds, or highly social mammals. An octopus that tucks itself inside a coconut shell is demonstrating the ability to imagine the shell's future usefulness and to plan its movements accordingly. But the octopus's tool use extends beyond simple shelter. When hunting, some species will manipulate jets of water to flush prey from hiding places, directing the stream with purposeful precision. Others will pile debris, shells, and stones on top of eggs to shield them from predators, an instinctive but intelligent act of engineering that reflects a deep connection between problem-solving and survival. Even play behaviors hint at proto-technology. Octopuses have been observed repeatedly releasing objects into currents just to catch them again, as if training their arms and honing their coordination for future challenges. These actions reveal a mind that not only perceives the environment, but actively reshapes it. Each object becomes an extension of intelligence, a tool that transforms vulnerability into opportunity. This is especially remarkable given that octopuses do not learn these behaviors from one another. They emerge through individual discovery. Without culture or imitation, each octopus must reinvent tool use for itself, relying on innate curiosity and powerful exploratory instincts. This self-driven innovation reflects a deeper truth. The octopus's intelligence is fundamentally experimental. It tests, tries, retracts, and refines much like a scientist exploring hypotheses. The arms gather data, the central brain interprets patterns, and the body executes solutions with elegant precision. In this way, the octopus blurs the line between instinct and invention. Its behaviors seem improvised rather than inherited, emerging from neural circuits built for flexibility rather than rigid templates. The environment reinforces this improvisational intelligence. Coral reefs present endless puzzles. Kelp forests demand navigation through ever-shifting obstacles. Sandy flats require stealth and strategic manipulation of space. Each landscape becomes a training ground, presenting new problems that the octopus must solve without guidance. As a result, tool use is not a rare anomaly in octopus behavior. It is a natural extension of a mind that never stops testing the limits of its world. This form of intelligence underscores something profound. The octopus does not require culture to be innovative. It does not need decades of life to develop skill. Its creativity arises naturally from the fusion of curiosity, distributed neural architecture, and a body that allows interaction with the environment in infinite ways. In every movement, the octopus reminds us that intelligence is not a linear progression. It is a branching possibility, flourishing even in the solitude of the ocean's depths. And as you imagine an octopus carrying its shell across the seafloor, or meticulously arranging stones around its den, you may sense the subtle miracle of its mind, a creature without bones, without society, without time yet capable of invention. It is intelligence born from fluidity, expressed through exploration, and refined by a lifetime of silent experimentation. In the underwater world, danger is constant, and predators prowl with silent precision. The octopus, lacking armor, speed, or the protection of a group, survives not by confrontation, but by perfecting the art of escape, a mastery so profound that it borders on invisibility. Every part of its body, every quivering muscle fiber, every pattern of color rippling through its skin is tuned toward one purpose: to detect threat early, respond instantly, and vanish before the attacker even understands what has happened. The moment danger approaches, the octopus does not hesitate. Its arms coil inwards, ready to spring. Chromatophores flood its skin with the exact texture and shade of the surrounding rocks, sand, or coral, blending it into the landscape so seamlessly that its body dissolves into the scenery. This camouflage is not a simple response. It is a rapid computation performed across thousands of pigment-producing cells, coordinated through a distributed network of nerves that interpret light, contrast, and movement in real time. The octopus becomes a thought made physical, precise, immediate, and effective. If concealment fails, the octopus shifts strategies with blinding fluidity. It releases a burst of ink, a dense cloud of melanin and mucus that forms a swirling visual barrier. In some cases, the ink creates a ghostly decoy, a dark phantom that mimics the shape of the octopus, drawing the predator's attention away from the real creature. While the predator lunges at this illusion, the octopus propels itself backward with a powerful jet from its siphon, slipping into the shadows like a whisper. Its mastery of escape is not only visual but spatial. With no rigid skeleton, the octopus can pass through openings no bigger than its beak, a structure barely larger than a fingernail. Cracks in rocks, holes in coral, narrow crevices that no other predator can reach become safe havens. An octopus can vanish into spaces that look impossibly small, reappearing moments later in a place no attacker could predict. This ability makes its body not just flexible, but tactically superior. The octopus also reads the intentions of predators with astonishing sensitivity. The slightest shift in water pressure, the shadow of a fin passing overhead, or the faint chemical signature of a nearby hunter triggers an immediate assessment. Its awareness is not centralized, it is spread across its body, processing multiple streams of information at once. This distributed perception enables reactions that are faster than conscious thought, guided by instincts honed through millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Escape, for the octopus, is not panic, it is strategy. It is an elegant combination of awareness, deception, and speed executed with perfect timing. Even its movement during escape is a form of artistry, arms trailing behind, body streamlined, siphon pulsing rhythmically as it glides backward into the dark. There is no wasted motion, no hesitation, only a deep, intuitive command of its own body and environment. This mastery of escape is more than survival. It is an expression of the octopus's nature. A creature defined by fluidity must rely on fluid tactics. A creature without armor must rely on intelligence. A creature that lives alone must rely on self-preservation born from vigilance, adaptability, and the seamless fusion of perception and action. As you envision the octopus disappearing into darkness, leaving behind only a fading cloud of ink, you may feel a quiet admiration for its silent wisdom. In a world full of threats, the octopus teaches us that survival can be an art, one perfected not through force, but through understanding, awareness, and the ability to move with the world rather than against it. Although the octopus is often described as solitary, its inner world is not one of isolation. It is one of selective connection, a delicate balance between independence and brief, meaningful encounters shaped by instinct, caution, and curiosity. Unlike social mammals or flocking birds, the octopus does not form groups, does not establish hierarchies, and does not rely on cooperation for survival. Yet its solitary nature does not imply emotional emptiness. Instead, it reveals a creature that interacts rarely, but intensely, and expresses itself not through sound or posture, but through an intricate language of color, movement, and proximity. When two octopuses meet, their bodies become living messages. Color shifts reveal intent. Soft, muted tones suggest neutrality. Sudden darkening indicates stress or defensiveness. Bright, high-contrast patterns signal aggression or dominance. These exchanges unfold silently across their skin, allowing each individual to gauge the other's mood long before any physical interaction occurs. In this sense, octopuses communicate with a sincerity unfamiliar to many animals, a literal transparency of emotion displayed across the surface of the body. During these encounters, the arms also speak their own language. A gently extended limb signals curiosity. A stiff, raised posture warns of caution. A slow, spiraling movement invites exploration. Through these gestures, octopuses negotiate boundaries, establish comfort, and express intention. Even their choice of distance reflects a subtle understanding of personal space, approaching only when signals are positive, retreating when colors or motions shift into tension. Although octopuses do not seek companionship, they exhibit behaviors that suggest awareness of others as individuals rather than abstract threats. In some environments, multiple octopuses maintain dens within view of one another, showing patterns of tolerance and subtle territorial negotiation. These arrangements are fragile, shifting with mood and circumstance, but they demonstrate a social sensitivity that defies the assumption of complete solitude. Mating, is one of the few times when octopuses engage in extended interaction. During this delicate exchange, the male approaches cautiously, reading the female's colors and posture for signs of acceptance or rejection. If she responds calmly, the male extends a specialized arm, the hectocotylus, to transfer spermatophores. This process requires remarkable trust, as both individuals are vulnerable during the act. Their colors soften, their arms move with slow intention, and for a brief moment, their solitary lives overlap in a quiet, biological partnership. Even after mating, octopuses remain aware of one another. Females tending eggs maintain vigilant watch, defending their nest not only from predators, but sometimes from curious males or rival females. These defensive actions are not performed blindly. They reflect judgment, perception, and an understanding of social context. Each reaction is tailored to the intruder's behavior, a sign of nuanced recognition and emotional modulation. Octopuses may not build societies, but they navigate their rare interactions with a depth of communication that feels almost intimate. Solitude is their natural state, yet when they choose to connect even briefly, they do so with an honesty expressed through the living canvas of their bodies. As you imagine these encounters unfolding in the dim underwater light, two shape-shifting beings conversing without sound, you may sense the beauty of their social world. Quiet, brief, but deeply expressive. The octopus reminds us that solitude is not emptiness, and that even creatures who live alone can communicate with remarkable richness when the moment calls for it. For centuries, humans assumed that intelligence followed a single blueprint, one defined by vertebrates, centralized brains, long lifespans, and social learning. But the octopus stands as living proof that the universe allows for many architectures of mind. Its consciousness arose from an evolutionary path entirely separate from ours, shaped not by land and air, but by water, fluidity, and the demands of solitary survival. In studying the octopus, we are not merely learning about an animal. We are broadening our understanding of what intelligence can be. Researchers now look to the octopus as a model for distributed processing, decentralized decision-making, and adaptive systems. Its nervous system, spread across 9 interconnected hubs, challenges the assumption that cognition must be centralized. Its problem-solving abilities reveal that creativity can arise without culture. Its emotional cues, expressed through color and motion, suggest that internal states need not be hidden or abstract. They can be embodied, visible, and fluid. Even robotics and artificial intelligence fields draw inspiration from the octopus. Engineers study its arms to design machines that move with flexible precision. Programmers examine its distributed neural architecture as a blueprint for networks that process information locally rather than relying on a single central processor. In this way, the octopus becomes more than a biological marvel. It becomes a guide for future technology, a living demonstration of how intelligence can emerge from unexpected designs. The octopus also forces us to confront deeper philosophical questions. What does it mean to have a self? If memory can be stored in limbs as well as brains, how do we define personal experience? If emotions can be projected through skin rather than voice, how do we interpret expressive behavior in creatures unlike ourselves? Each discovery cracks open another door in our understanding of consciousness, revealing that the human experience is just one version among countless possibilities. As we observe octopuses solving puzzles, dreaming in bursts of color, shaping their world through tools, and navigating their environment with fluid intuition. We begin to see intelligence not as a linear ladder, but as a vast, branching tree. On some branches sit primates, birds, and mammals creatures whose minds resemble ours. But far across the tree, on a branch that split hundreds of millions of years earlier, sits the octopus, a reminder that complex thought does not require our form, our structure, or our timeline. Its message is subtle but profound. Intelligence is not defined by similarity to humans. It is defined by the capacity to learn, adapt, perceive, and respond with intention. The octopus shows us that consciousness can live in arms, in skin, in fluid motion. That memory can be distributed. That emotion can be color. That perception can be tactile, chemical, and polarized. That identity itself can be a shifting constellation rather than a fixed point. Studying the octopus expands not only our scientific knowledge, but our imagination. It invites us to appreciate minds that are fundamentally different from our own, to value diversity in cognition, and to consider that the universe may be filled with forms of awareness we have yet to understand. As you let this idea drift through your thoughts, imagine intelligence as the ocean itself, deep, expansive, and filled with countless shapes. The octopus is one of its most extraordinary expressions, a creature whose mind reflects the fluid, ever-changing world it inhabits. And through understanding it, we begin to understand the vast potential of mind itself. As we reach the end of this journey, imagine yourself drifting deeper into the quiet blue, a realm where sunlight thins into silver threads, where shadows stretch softly across the seafloor, where movement is slow, deliberate, and filled with secrets. In this silent world lives a creature whose mind evolved so far from our own that understanding it feels like peering into another universe. The octopus is not simply an animal, it is a question, a shimmering riddle shaped by water, pressure, darkness, and time. Its life unfolds in moments rather than years, yet within those moments lies a richness that defies expectation. A body that flows like liquid thought, arms that taste, think, and remember. Skin that speaks in color and shadow. Eyes that read the ocean's hidden language. A nervous system that distributes consciousness like constellations across the night. And a mind that dreams, solves, learns, and expresses emotion despite belonging to a lineage that diverged from ours 500 million years ago. To call the octopus alien is not to distance it from us, but to acknowledge the beauty of its difference. It shows us that intelligence does not require bones, societies, or long lives. It does not require speech, tools, or tradition. Intelligence can bloom in solitude. It can spread through arms. It can shimmer across skin. It can arise from a body that changes shape, color, and texture as easily as breath. What the octopus teaches us, perhaps more than any other creature, is that consciousness is not a singular pattern but a spectrum, a vast ocean of possibilities. Somewhere within that ocean lies human awareness, structured in words and memories. But far from us, on another current entirely, lies the octopus, a mind expressed through sensation, motion, and instinctive artistry. A mind that navigates the world not through rigid thought, but through fluid response. A mind that reveals, in its very existence, that the universe is capable of producing many kinds of minds, and each one is a reflection of the world that shaped it. As you picture the octopus one last time, drifting through the dim blue like a flicker of living shadow, feel the depth of its mystery. Its arms trail behind with gentle elegance. Its colors pulse softly in rhythms that hint at inner emotion. It glides effortlessly between worlds, between sand and coral, between shadow and light, between instinct and intelligence. It is both vulnerable and brilliant, ephemeral and profound, alien and familiar. And as it disappears into the darkness, dissolving into the textures of rock and water, let a final thought linger within you, that somewhere beneath the waves, a different kind of mind is dreaming, thinking, feeling, solving the quiet puzzles of its world. A mind that reminds us how astonishingly diverse life can be, and how vast the tapestry of intelligence truly is. In this gentle fade into silence, the story of the octopus comes to a close, not with an ending, but with an invitation to imagine, to wonder, and to look at every living being with new eyes. For in understanding the octopus, we glimpse not just another creature, but the infinite possibilities of consciousness itself.